You know what's great about being over 50? The rules do not apply to you anymore. And no, being hot is not about men noticing. It's about them regretting it if they didn't. And honestly, I am done apologizing for who I am and what I want. Today we are breaking all the rules. We're talking about owning your vibe, saying whatever the hell you want, trying things you swore were either too young or too extra, and finally giving yourself permission to leave behind all the stuff that doesn't serve you. So let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Still Can't Cook. I am your host, Kelley Fahey. I'm gonna get right into this. What does hot look like after 50? That's what I'm gonna talk about today. All of the changes, all the things, what does it mean? It's not about fitting into the latest trends or having men spin around when you walk by or catching someone's eye. It's about internally how you feel. It's about knowing that you no longer have to put up with the stuff you put up with in your 40s. You get to a place where that's it. You're unapologetic. Being over 50 changes your self-confidence. You know who you are, and that's sexy. That's hot. Not needing someone else's attention. I crave my own attention more than anybody else's now. It's like, how do I feel? How do I feel internally? Does this sit right with me now? Back in my 40s, I'd squeeze myself into anything. I'd make it work. I put myself in so many situations that I was uncomfortable, so many dinners I didn't want to sit down at, so many parties I didn't want to go to, and now I simply just don't do what I don't want to do. And you're comfortable in your body in a way that you weren't when you were younger, says the woman who got a facelift. But that's why I did it. I wouldn't have done it. I wanted it in my 40s, but I didn't do it. I didn't have the self-courage to trust myself. Everything now, I decide, which is scary, but it's also the most freeing because I don't have to wait around and wonder what anybody else thinks about it. And that, I think, is hot. I think having courage in yourself, freedom to make choices, the knowledge from all the mistakes you made prior makes being this age the hot age. I mean, I might be hotter in my 60s, God willing, but right now, I'm feeling pretty hot, and it's not about walking out the door and catching someone's attention. It really isn't. It's about keeping the attention of the valued people that I love in my life, meeting new fabulous people that I'm like, wow, you know what? We have a lot in common. Meeting someone in your 50s, new women, new female friends, isn't very easy, but when you do, it's a higher scale than when you were in your teenage years meeting people. And even in your 20s and 30s, you make friends for the wrong reasons. I think I did anyway. Some people, childhood friends, pull through. I don't want to minimize how amazing it is to have long-term friends. But when you do meet people at this age, you have to kind of have more in common. I feel very hot with my girlfriends. I feel hot when I'm around a group of women who know what they think, stand by their beliefs, don't flip-flop. Being sexy is self-confidence. I think having confidence is sexy, and that's what happens over 50. And that's what happened for me over 50. I'd love to know if it happens for you. I remember being in my 30s and having like a very specific fear of turning 40. In my 50s, and I'm mid-50s, I'm not worried about turning 60. I think you start embracing the ages, the years as they come, the change of age and the getting older is now something that feels like a gift. And you feel like, wow, this, not everybody gets to see 54. This is a great time in my life. I've never felt better. I've never been more grounded. And I think that's hot. So those things make me feel hot. I mean, looking good matters too. Of course, I like when I'm in a cute outfit, and I like when I catch someone's attention. It's not like I'm so secure now that I don't need a little attention. I do. But it is more internal. The conversations I have with myself are way more positive internal conversations. Like the dialogue in our own brain changes. Mine changed as I got older. Way more positive. Yes, that's the right choice. Don't question yourself. Don't listen to someone else if you don't agree with their opinion. Always be ready to learn and change. That's super important too. If I ever get to a place where I stop learning, that's a problem. I'm not there. I really think that I'm open now to other people's opinions. If I don't agree with someone, it doesn't have to change how I feel about a topic. I'm not easily swayed, though I'm open to learning, if that makes any sense. I love hearing different opinions. I love being turned on to new things. I love that there's still new things at 54. You think, when are you too old to stop trying new things? And I'm not. That's sexy. Being open to new things is sexy. All of it's sexy. Even the cracks and breaks and crinkles in my body are sexy. I mean, aches and pains are not that sexy, but it comes with, it is what it is. You got to balance that. You get the good with the bad. It's like, do I want to be smarter with a little bit of a back trouble? Sciatic nerve pain, smarter. Dumber, less creaking. I don't know. I think I'd stick to what I'm doing now. I'll stick to the cracking knees and a little bit more self-respect and self-esteem and confidence. I think that for me is super sexy. And I think that comes with age, regardless, male or female. I think it really does come with age, or anyone in the in-between. I wake up now and I start this whenever you can. I wish I would have started it younger, but I really am thank you. Oh my goodness, I get to do this day. I get to open my eyes and be me today. Again, what a blessing. And take every little moment you can and really live in it. I think I'm more, in your 50s, I think you're more in the moment. I think I'm more in the very second. Things are happening as they're happening. Yesterday doesn't matter. Tomorrow is not definite. Right here, right this second. And I think that's kind of hot too. I'm really hot. It's also hot flashes. Don't let this sweat on the lip make you think it's because I'm hot. It's because I'm actually burning from the inside out. Being over 50, you find moments of hot way more than you did when you were younger. I don't need to put on makeup and a great dress and go to the right places to feel sexy. I don't need to be seen by the right people or get the right attention or even get anyone to agree with me, to feel like I'm in the right place, that I'm doing the right things, and then I'm hot. Confidence, that's hot. And I feel like everything kind of comes together for me at this age. I feel all the stars have aligned with my facelift. Not everyone had a positive response to the facelift and the change in my face, which is not dramatic, but family was a little taken back. My niece wasn't very comfortable. She didn't recognize this age of my face, is what she said. She said, I just didn't know you when you look this young. And again, that's a tremendous compliment. But it was interesting because I hadn't thought about that before. I have older brothers and sisters who are all very comfortable with that. Now that I've healed and I'm not bruised and swollen and it doesn't look painful, are very comfortable and almost are like, yeah, this is what you look like. My mom had a facelift. And my dad said, the night before the facelift, my dad said, does she even need a facelift? Because I don't see it. I don't see wrinkles. We should all have that kind of love, right? But that's kind of what I'm getting from my siblings, because they're just like, yeah, you look like you look well rested. You look the way we think you look in our heads. So yeah, it's funny. You don't always get the feedback that you want. Some people are concentrating on the things that they don't like about it. I have some friends who really don't like my new mouth. It's unfortunate. But I like every part of it. I loved myself before. I am a little bit more confident now. Whatever choices you make, you're going to get feedback, right? If you change your career, if you have a new boyfriend, if you change your haircut. I happen to change my face. I think people get boob jobs and nose jobs and all the things. I mean, I can't imagine. I never thought about the feedback. And I feel like that's an interesting thing to talk about or to ask you guys about. If you've changed something, like I know a lot of girls get nose jobs, a lot of people get boob jobs, and people our age get facelifts. Have you had any negative or interesting opinions that sat with you? I have had to stop and go back into the bathroom and take a good look at myself after hearing from certain friends opinions that they're like, oh, that part I find strange. And I'll go and look at myself. I'm like, it's the same face I've always had. It's just a little bit lifted. I don't know what you mean it doesn't look the same. And then what do? You can't change it. But it's funny because I don't, from the moment I did it, I haven't regretted it. I was afraid I was going to wake up and be like, oh my God, what? I woke up like cake. I wanted this so bad for so long. I manifested it. And that's sexy. Manifestation is sexy too. And I think you manifest a lot more after 50, or I do. Do you remember Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high? Well, I'm revamping that mantra for myself for my new era. And what I'm saying is, when I glow up, they glow down. And it's actually happening. People around you get the stink eye. That's what I'm vibing too. You don't like that I look better. It's bothering you that I look better. Let it bother you, because I do. I look better and I'm hot, and that's what's happening. So if you don't like it, that's your problem. But don't side-eye me, because I can catch you, because my eyes are bigger now. I don't have that little flap. I can see you now. I can see over here. I had these little, those, what are they called? Hanging eyelids. Jesus, there goes a menopause moment. See, I could have a new face. Same old brain. I wish I could do a brain lift. Anyway, I can see everywhere now because I don't have the flaps. So don't be stink-eyeing on the side that you don't like my new face or you're jealous of my snatched chin, because I see you, because my eyes are bigger. If someone can't handle your energy, that is their problem. And that's not just for people over 50. That's at any age. I wish I had a Kelley to tell me I wish I had a 54-year-old Kelley to tell me when I was my 35-year-old Kelley, that if someone can't handle you, don't change for them. You're not too much. You're exactly what you're supposed to be. And I sit in that really hard at 54. And now that we've established what hot looks like after 50, let's talk about another side effect of aging. And that's saying whatever the hell you want. No judgments, no more filter, and it feels amazing. Once you hit a certain age, you can talk about whatever you want. I can talk about my kinks if I want to. I can talk about last night's Tinder fail. I can talk about anything I want. Like when you're over 50, your friends just casually in conversation mention that they happen to have a threesome that they haven't told you about 2 months ago. And it's fine. It's like, oh, really? What was that like? And you ask the questions you wouldn't ask in your 40s. And it lingers with you, and you bring it to your podcast. I have so many questions, and I asked all the questions. But guess what? She said it like it was like she went to McDonald's. She's like, oh, so the other night, I met this couple, and so, yeah. I'm like, wait, you did who and how, what? And then it was like, spill the tea, sis, but we were doing it over wine. 50, 40, I would have been like, guess what? I would have been texting all my friends. Instead, I'm just telling the public. There are no limits. After 50, you don't have any edit button. There's no like, what did you do? You don't have any judgments. I'm so much more curious about the kinks that people have than I am judgmental of it. And then there's a little part of me that's like, I haven't tried that. Maybe I will. I can. And you know what I'll do? I'll tell you about it because I don't care anymore. What I do care. That's not true. You don't stop caring. You just are more confident in the choices that you make. Clearly you care about what other people think. You don't want to walk around being a jerk, but you're a little bit more, I think you've learned how to not be a jerk anymore. I think that's what growing up and getting here, what I've accomplished is the choices that I make now are not coming from a weird, insecure, jerky place. It's like if I make a decision and it doesn't affect someone well at my age, it doesn't matter. And you have that with your friends at 50. You guys talk about stuff. You know, we're closer to grandparenting than we are to parenting. Sorry, guys. Raising grandchildren and like, what are we not talking about? What are we hiding now? We have back aches and we have threesomes. We have chin hair and we have Pornhub. We're doing all the things. I don't think there's any topics off limit at this point in my life. And nothing shocks me. I wasn't even shocked. I'm just kind of like, wow, am I the only person I know that hasn't had a threesome? Do I need to figure that out? I don't know. There's a lot of shit I haven't done though, but that's, that was a big one. Conversations. I think it's funny that we are very comfortable in your 50s talking about date fails, like things you did wrong on a date, and immediately liking or disliking somebody when you meet a friend of a friend. Like, you remember when you were younger and you had to like all your friends' friends? You could never tell your girlfriend that you didn't like her new +1. Now, I have it with my New York group of friends. I have a great group of friends here. We all established dog mom friends, and they're in their late 40s and early 50s. And yeah, we talk about stuff that is just, it's crazy. We just talk about anything. When I was younger, I failed to participate in conversations and ask questions if I was uncomfortable with the topic. And now I'm all in the business. I literally asked my friend more details about that threesome than I think she wanted to remember. So many details that I think she went home and called them. I asked the details. I did. It's an interesting topic for those of us who have not encountered it. Table conversation at this age is way more interesting than it was when I was younger because we're not bullshitting anymore. Things happen. Bodily things happen when you're my age. Weird things happen. You lose control sometimes. People pee. Women pee. Most women at a certain age, when they giggle, pee. That happens. And we're at the age where we talk about it. I have a friend who'd be like, literally said I peed myself and got up at the restaurant and went to the bathroom because she was laughing so hard she peed herself. Over 50 conversations. Very interesting. They want to go from very sexy things to really gross, icky things. Like, you found what? Where? And the pimple that was on your neck is now on your back. Like, how? What? Gross. Hairy stuff, lack of hair in places. Yeah, but we talk about everything. Nothing's off limits when you're 50. Nothing. 50 plus. So if you have any stories that you want to save them. Wait till you're 50. Tell everybody. All that being said brings me to this. Just because you're getting older does not mean you stop collecting firsts. Being honest about life and love and all the spicy bits is one thing, but aging also gives you the permission to say yes. Yes to things you were afraid of. Yes to things you didn't have the time to do. Yes to the things you want to do, and no and a clear, definite no to things you don't want to do. You get to a place where you stop making excuses for yourself. You get to say, yes, I like that. Yes, I want to try a threesome. Yes, I love all this information you're telling me. Exactly how did that work? Just because I'm over 50 does not mean that I stop trying new things. And no matter what age you are, you should not stop trying new things either. Whether it's a new class you take, a new friend you meet, a new restaurant, new foods to try. There's so many things out there. There's so many things, endless amount of new things. Try something new every day, right? That's what they say. I just made I'm a poet. Look what I just did right here. I'm a poet. I just rhymed that sentence without even thinking about it. Yeah, try something new every day. Try something that you've always wanted to do and didn't give yourself time for. You know, you don't have to sit back and rot just because you're getting older. You know, I can compete with the 20-year-olds. I just don't have the time to care about doing that anymore. That is so time consuming, worrying about keeping up with, I said it before, keeping up with the latest trends. I can't do it right now. I don't care enough. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. And if I see something new that's trending and hot, I'll get it. If it doesn't look good on me, I'm not going to push it just because it's supposed to happen that. Like, this is what everybody's doing now. You don't have to keep up with trends. Not keeping up with trends is also part of being over 50. And just because you're over 50 does not mean that I'm now doing water aerobics. I'm still a Pilates queen right next to the 20-somethings, and I'm doing it better and I look cuter. I got the new face. Face matches the abs now. Thank you, Pilates. I don't know why I waited so long to try all these new things. Like, why did I wait so long to take my first trip alone? I mean, I know why I did, because I was afraid of everything. I'm not so afraid anymore. That happened with age. But why did I wait so long? Why didn't I take the adventures? Solo trips, new classes, new friends, dining by myself, doing things, doing new things. I want to take a class. I want to take a painting class. I think I might want to take another class I want to take a class about how to buy stocks. You know, there's classes that teach you how to be independent. I want to take a class. That's kind of contradictory, isn't it? Pay us to teach you how to be independent. That's really funny. Did that just sound funny just to me? Did you hear that? Pay us to teach you how to be independent. Okay, kind of like an oxymoron. Anyway, why? Don't wait. If there's things you want to do, don't put it off. It doesn't feel better to go on a holiday by yourself when your knees hurt. It probably would have felt better in my 20s. Do it. Do whatever it is that you're afraid of. Traveling by myself was one of the big ones for me. I was really afraid. And when I finally did it, it was amazing because, of course, I say by myself, but I was with Oliver, who, could protect me from, I don't know, a mouse or something. He probably wouldn't. He would sleep through it. But, yeah, I don't know. I wish I hadn't put some stuff off. This, doing a podcast or wherever it would have been in the Flintstones era when I grew up. I don't know how I would have done it. But yeah, like, do the things you always wanted to do and do it now, because again, not to be a Debbie Downer, but you never know. You just never know when it's going to be your last first, right? Do you remember your last first? That's a good question. The last time you did something for the first time. Don't make it a past tense thing. I want to have a lot of new firsts, and you can do that anytime, but I'm definitely doing it after my 50s. Clearly, here we are. I don't have a choice. There's no time machine yet, so I can't really go back and do it in my 20s. So trying new things and learning new things is amazing. But let's be real. Growth is also about letting go of the things that no longer serve you. That's a really hard space to get to, and we should be doing that at every age. But as you get older, you have a little less time for the bullshit. So when you can look at your life and eliminate the stresses, you should. And I think as you get older, it's clearer. What friends do stick around for the good stuff? What friends drag you down? What relationships should you pull into your 60s? Who do I really want to deal with at 65? Right? Like, these are the things. Where do I want to be living? What classes do I want to, what do I want to know when I'm older, as I get older? You don't have to stop trying new things. And I think what's crazy and super fun about it is that you can surprise yourself in the things you enjoy. I don't like salad. It's a thing. I don't like salad. Ask my doctor. She just called me and read me all my blood work. And one of the things I need to eat, leafy green vegetables. Not going to happen. But I've tried it. I've recently allowed a friend, when we're at a restaurant, to order salad as part of our appetizers instead of the baked clams, because I'm going to try all the new things. One of my new things is green juices and salads. So if you don't do that, you should add that to your repertoire, because it's apparently very healthy for you. Anyway, life does not get anything but sweeter after 50. Everything is better. I think you just appreciate the moments more. I really do. I think everything seems so special at this age. I mean, yeah, everything feels so special. You feel like you get to see things from a smarter space, but somewhere in there, you're still that 20-year-old. You still have all that stuff because she doesn't go away. She's just recycled. You know what I mean? It's like in there somewhere is that little 12-year-old Kelley, and now she's 54 years old. And it's like the 12-year-old can't believe the 54-year-old had a facelift. And the 65-year-old is going to say, thank you for doing that, Kelley. I can hear the little me and the older me, like the devil and the angel, one going, I can't believe you're that old. And one going, thank God you did that then. My 65-year-old chin's going to be back to my 54-year-old chin. But anyway, I digress. This is not just about my face. FOMO is lying to you. And if it's not serving you, it is not worth your energy. You don't need to go to clubs anymore if that was your thing. You don't need to show up for friends who don't show up for you. You don't have to pretend that you like things that you don't like anymore. You don't need to be seen and heard and be at all the parties and be at all the right places. You know the comfort of your couch is good enough for you these days. Like, you can miss it because you're not missing anything if you got time with yourself. That's the most important thing. Losing time with the people that you actually love and value and bring things to your life is so much more important than spending time with the people who don't serve you anymore. And it changes as you get older. And you get here and you go, no, that doesn't feel good. And if you feel that now, make the changes now. I'm getting more of those moments here. There's a lot more moments where I'm like, just didn't feel right moments. And guess what? I got to act on those. I don't have 20 more years to sort it out. Well, I better have 20 more years. I don't have 50 more years to sort that out. So make the choices now. Only do what serves you. Only stick around people who support you and love you. Give the same in return, though. Don't be the friend that's like the leech friend that gets all the good information and does all the good stuff and doesn't give anything. Don't be that person. Reciprocate the friendships. Reciprocate the love. Meet people where they're at. That's a really good lesson to learn. And I think at my age, it's when you kind of sit in that. Meeting someone where they're at. It's only difficult for me in romantic relationships. Meeting someone where they're at, for me, has been a struggle, but I am sitting hard in it with the help of friends and therapists at 54. If I try and you don't meet me, then I'm going to let it go. How about that? Letting things come to you. That you learn as you get older. Doesn't matter. You can grip sand. Sand pours out of your hands. You know what you need to do? You need to hold your hand like this. This is what you do. I'm doing another thing. Moment. Life is just, what a trip. But it gets better. It's so much fun at 50. So much fun. No one's opinion of me, other than my own, keeps me up at night. I have a lot of self-realizations that kind of keep me up sometimes. I'm like, you did what? But then, I tell myself that I shouldn't do it again, and then I'll do it like 5 or 6 more times. And then I learn from it. You know what happens after 50? You don't care how many mistakes you make, as long as you fix them yourself with the help of your therapist and ChatGPT. So my boundaries have changed in the last few years. I don't have the same patience, and I don't have the same ability to be a floor mat as I did when I was in my 20s and 30s. So my boundaries have definitely changed. I have some set standards that I will not sway for anybody, and if you can't meet them, you can't be in my space. I have people I know I can be around when they're drinking, and I know there are people that I can't be around when they're drinking. That person becomes an idiot, and I don't want to put myself in a position where I would have in my 20s and 30s and 40s, and I did, be in a position where I am made to be uncomfortable, where I'm going to be offended by something or defensive. I avoid those moments. I have unbreakable boundaries in the last 4 years, and it has eliminated a lot of people and moments from my life. But I think boundaries are super important, and people who love you and people who have boundaries themselves and self-respect and respect you and your space, recognize your boundaries. People will know, Kelley, a Kelleyism. I don't like sitting at bars. This is going to be a simple little thing. It sounds simple, but it isn't. I don't like to dine at a bar, though I know that's how you're supposed to meet people, so it's a conflict as a woman. This is what they say on these dating things, that you're supposed to sit at a bar, a single woman should sit at a bar. I like sitting at tables. I have friends who just won't book a bar top. They will sit at a table because they know it's something I like. It sounds silly, but it's not. Understanding and recognizing people's boundaries and what works for them is super important. And if you have people around you who don't respect your boundaries, that's a problem. Set your boundaries, stand firm on them, and people around you should recognize them and respect them. It shouldn't be, you shouldn't apologize for who you are at this age. You shouldn't apologize for not wanting to spend the night at your sibling's house. You'd rather stay at a hotel. Boundaries, set boundaries. It's a weird one. My mom was alive. I always slept at my sister's house, of course, because my mom was there. Not now. Love you, mean it, but I'll be at a hotel. I'm a grown-up. This is a boundary. And it's, it's simple. It's like you have to have rules that you need to live by and that people around you need to take your shoes off when you walk in my house. Another thing, I don't know if that's a boundary or a set rule, but anyway, it's mine. And if you come in my house and you have your shoes on, I want you to take your shoes off. So that's my boundary. That's one of my boundaries. When it comes to dating, I have boundaries. I said this before and I'll say it again, I don't like people who bring up sex before you've met. I think it's insane. It's a boundary. I'm not going out on a date with someone who talks about sex before we've ever met. Unless we met on a sex site now that I'm about to look for a threesome. Kidding, sort of. Yeah, don't do that. Boundary, done. I might be misconstruing my rules and boundaries. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. You can tell me. But I think I have some set boundaries, and I think it's important that you set them as you get older. You should set them at any age. But yeah, I have some clear ones. I remember when my siblings had babies, I said I don't babysit. That was a boundary. I made that boundary in my 20s. I didn't have these kids, you did. And I love my nieces and nephews, but I don't have them. I'm going out. And that girl who used to go to the clubs is now sitting home watching TV, and she ain't babysitting still. No babysitting. It's just not my vibe. So speaking of boundaries, sometimes your friends need to get a little bit of a reality check. Friendships evolve, and it's normal for expectations to shift. Friends should not have unrealistic expectations of their friends. We are all just doing our best. So if you have friends who expect you to be something that you're not, set them straight. If you have to be a specific way around certain people in your life, set them free. Be yourself. Don't have unrealistic expectations of your friends. If your friend doesn't want to have brunch with you and they want to sit and sip a tea while you're having your mimosa, so be it, but have the mimosa. You don't need to have the friend drinking it with you. Here's the thing about my friends. Not all my friends let my dog kiss them on the mouth or the face. I know that sounds like it's crazy, isn't it? But I have to respect their boundaries, and so they don't come over. And so I don't talk to them. No, I have friends who won't let Oliver kiss them, and it sounds really weird, but at some point I was like, are you really not letting the dog kiss you? And it's like, no, clear boundary, I don't do that. Okay, fine. I don't expect those friends to do that. They need to massage me, though. The dog can't kiss you on the face, then I need a massage. And you better be good at it. Don't expect your friends to do things or be things that they're not and have unrealistic expectations of your friends. Don't expect me to not overspend. Do not expect me to get the cheap bottle of wine, and do not expect me to go a day without complaining about on again, off again. Sorry, I had to put that in here somewhere. Don't expect me not to repeat the same problems over and over and over and over and over and over ad nauseum, which is a good word that was used at me today. My producer said I did something ad nauseum. Good word. Can't spell it, but it's a good word. Don't expect certain friends to show up on time. You know who you are. We all have that late friend. Do you guys have a late friend? It makes me bananas. It makes me bananas. I'm the early friend. I'm the always early friend. Don't expect me to show up on time. I'm at your door 20 minutes before I'm supposed to be. It's weird. I'll walk around a little bit. I'm always early. You should be able to say no to a friend without feeling guilty about it. You should be able to turn down a date with a friend and not have hours of wondering what they're thinking about you and are they mad about you because you didn't want to do the one thing that they wanted to do. Friendships should not be exhausting. Relationships should not be exhausting. Hey, here's a big one. Here's a big aha. Life should not be exhausting. It should be fun. Friendships should be fun. Days should be fun. Life should be fun. If you have friends who expect far too much from you, you got to tell them. Speak your truth. Say, this I can't do. I have friends who are honest with me. I am, in fact, honest in return. And sometimes it's hard because you want to be that person who shows up all the time. But life doesn't work that way. And if you can't make it and you can't be there, you need to have friends who go, they get it. They have to understand. My friends do. Most of my friends. But then again, along the way, you have to get rid of those things that don't serve you anymore. Life shows you that. Life will absolutely give you those hints. Take them. Someone told me once, God taps you on the shoulder when you're not listening, then he hits you over the head with the bat. I was like, wait a second, that's what my mother used to do. God, or whatever it is you believe in, the universe, however you see that, whatever your thing is, tap, 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 you don't listen, you get a hit over the head. That's the same with relationships and life and day to day. We are one phone call away from being brought to our knees. Cherish every second of it. That just got real dark, didn't it? There shouldn't be social pressure with friends. There should be yes or no. That's how it should work. Do you want to? No, I don't. Can you do this? Yes, I can. Fabulous. You should be there for the big stuff, even if it's uncomfortable and even if it doesn't fit in your schedule. Make it work when the things are big. And we all know those moments. We should never not be there for our friends for those. But friendship should not be exhausting. And you shouldn't have to fight with the social pressures of going to nightclubs. I'm not a nightclub girl. It's not happening. I'm also not a sit in the theater girl for the movies. I'm not a movie girl. Don't ask me to go to the movies. Doesn't make me happy. Popcorn, not my thing. So understand what people's limits are and don't get exhausted by the relationships you have. Friendship should be fun. You should look forward to girl time. You should not feel like you have to do things. You don't have to be at the greatest party. You don't got to go to the big premieres. You don't got to do any of the stuff you don't want to do anymore. Chill out. There's good stuff on TV, I promise, and popcorn is probably better at home anyway. So the pro tip here is do not burn yourself out just for the aesthetic of being seen out. So yeah, it's all connected. Being hot at 50, trying new things, letting go of what doesn't serve you, considering a threesome, knowing your boundaries, setting them, keeping them, respecting your own opinion, trusting in yourself, doing new things, cherishing every moment. Somehow I'm going to be, I got all preachy. Laugh at yourself. You're probably funnier than you think. You're not funnier than me, but you're probably funnier than you think. It's about showing up for yourself. It's about being true to yourself. It's about trusting yourself and enjoying the ride. And trust me, when you do that, life gets a whole lot more fun. So here is the takeaway. Being hot at 50 is not about fitting into someone else's idea of perfect. It's about confidence, curiosity, and saying yes to the things that make you feel alive and no to the things that don't. Whether you're trying a hot yoga class or leaving behind an old friendship, growth is not about holding on. It's about showing up for yourself. So remember, FOMO is a liar, judgment doesn't matter, and your best years are still being written. So go be unapologetically you. And if anybody doubts it, let them regret it. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming back. Subscribe, follow, share, review, talk, do all the things. Come back next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Still can't cook. See you next Tuesday. Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for showing up for another episode of Still Can't Cook. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, on YouTube or any other podcast provider. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, please follow us at Still Can't Cook. Love to have you guys back every week. So happy that you joined us and look forward to seeing you next week.